Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 34th part of What If Deku Was a Magical Girl Mascot, Quirk, Magical Girl Mascot. The author of this great fanfic is Emma Ibley. Links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 34, Summer Start. It was now summer vacation. Sure, camp was coming up, but that was still a bit of a ways. But there was plenty of fun to be had before then. They also figured out a good time to bond with Toru. They decided to turn into a lunch get-together at the Midoriya apartment. Everyone in the team had gathered there. "Okay. I'm ready," said Toru. Izuku summoned the light from his gem. As it floated to her, she grabbed it. There was a bright flash of silver light as she felt a warmth travel all over her body. When the light cleared, everyone was staring at her with shock and amazement. "What is it?" she asked. "You might want to get a mirror," said Ochako. Toru was confused and ran to the bathroom. She looked at her reflection in shock, because she had one. She could help but to stare. She had short white hair, as well. She had to keep it short due to, it was hard to take of hair, and it had streaks that were various colors, 7 to be exact: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet, which was part of her magical girl transformation, and crystal blue eyes. Not to mention she was pretty. Her outfit consisted of a white leotard, a pleated skirt that part of it was a rainbow. On her chest was a ribbon that made of a rainbow. She had long sleeves that made of a lace that sparkled with rainbow. There was also a ribbon on her lower back that made of the same material. Her head there was a very sparkled bejeweled hairband. She had shoes that had ballerina-like ribbon that changed color. One end was red while the other was violet, and on the front ribbon was a silver gem. She looked at her face as while she was expecting a magical girl costume, it was the fact she was completely visible that surprised her. Once she got over her shock, she ran back into the living and practically tackled the currently human Izuku. He was expecting that, and hugging him. "Thank you," she cried. "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." When she stopped hugging him and wiped away her tears, she realized something, or rather something else. She still had invisibility, but it took a different form. She completely disappeared, including her new magical girl costume. "I can turn it on and off," said Toru, turning her invisibility off again. "I wonder," said Izuku, "if you can turn other things invisible." "Let's see," said Toru. She touched the couch. And it did turn invisible. Ochako sat on it. "This is so cool," said Ochako. "I wonder," said Toru, realizing something else. She then touched Ochako and she became invisible too. "Whoa! No way," said the inviolable Ochako. "This is so cool," said Toru. "You feel anything else?" asked Izuku. "I do feel other things, but it's probably not a good time to test them out here," said Toru. "She has a point," said Tenya. "Probably a good time to test them out later," said Inko. Toru turned off the invisibility and then de-transformed, and she saw she was back to being completely invisible. "Oh man. Really?" asked Toru, pouting. "Well, considering that's part of the power-up, it's not surprising it doesn't affect you outside of the transformation," said Tenya. "Hey, at least you're visible even if it's only in magical girl mode," said Izuku. "Hey, you're right," said Toru. Soon enough they all ate lunch, and during lunch this topic was brought up. "You know, I was thinking, it's a little strange that she hasn't been able to get a costume," said Shoto. "What?" asked Izuku. "Well, there just happens to be only 3 people in Japan that can see invisible things," said Shoto, "and none of them could help make the costume." "I think you're thinking too hard on it," said Toru with a sweat drop. "It's also entirely possible that people don't know if they can see invisible things," said Izuku. "Or something else is going on," said Shoto. "Shoto, are you feeling alright?" asked Inko. I'm fine. I was just thinking a lot about it, said Shoto. I'm starting to think you need to get out more, said Tsuyu with a sweat drop. What? Asked Shoto. Never mind, sighed Tsuyu. However, it just wasn't bonding going on during the summer, as the girls of the class, including the two new girls, had decided to use the school pool to have fun. However, it wasn't just the girls. Though of course the whole planning part of using the school pool was heard by Mineta and Kaminari. However, they had a plan to join in. And unfortunately the plan in hindsight wasn't a good plan. The two showed up at the Midoriya apartment one day. What are you doing here? Asked Izuku, being polite. We wanted to invite you to pool training, said Kaminari. That's nice, but I have to decline, said Izuku with a sweat drop. Oh, come on. You have so many quirks and I'm sure that you can use the pool to train them, said Mineta. That was when a voice shouted. What the hell are you doing, motherfuckers? Both of them jumped as they saw Katsuki, who of course was the one that shouted that, and Achiko. What are you doing here? Asked Mineta. I'm already going to the pool with them, said Izuku. What? Yelled Mineta. The girl sees him as one of us due to the bonds, muttered Katsuki. I'll go get my stuff, said Izuku, going to get his pool stuff. What were you planning to use Deku as a patsy so you can spy on us? Asked Katsuki. Neither one of them answered, only sweating. Seriously? Asked Achiko. Katsuki looked at Achiko, who giggled, getting an idea of what she wanted. All right. I'm ready, said Izuku with a bag. Okay. Let's go, said Achiko, cheerfully grabbing her boyfriend's arm. This just made the two perverts flinch harder. I dare you to do it by yourselves, because I doubt you'll be able to find another patsy, said Katsuki. She then followed her two friends. They looked at each other. They doubted they would find someone else to help them. So they decided to bite the bullet and go ask to use the pool for training. Aizawa was there for their request. You want to use the pool for training? Asked Aizawa suspiciously. Of course, the two said nervously. He glared at them. Considering both the class representative and vice representative are using the pool, I believe they can make sure you do training, said Aizawa, glaring at the two. The two had a very bad feeling about it. They got changed into their swim trunks and saw most of the girls, really the ones that were either born or spent most of their life as girls, doing their stretches before using the pool. And they were wearing certain swimsuits. Oh, come on, they're wearing the school swimsuits, muttered Kaminari. I don't mind, said Mineta. Seriously, muttered Kaminari with a sweat drop. Are you two going to do your stretches or not? Asked a voice. The two of them jumped and they saw Tenya and gaped at what she was wearing. She wasn't wearing the school swimsuit but rather a rash guard and a pair of shorts. What? You're not even wearing a swimsuit, cried Mineta. The school uniform law doesn't cover swimsuits, said Shoto, who was wearing the same thing as Tenya. Oh, come on, said Mineta. Aren't you supposed to be training? Asked Tenya. Both of them froze. Do you even have a training regimen planned out? Asked Tenya. This is bad. Both of them thought, sweating. Good thinking class representative is here, said Toru, or they'd be staring at us the entire time. The other's sweat dropped as she was the one who said it. Izuku also joined them and they started playing with a beach ball. Remember, Midori, what happens if you lose, said Ashido. Izuku sighed. It became a thing during these pool trips. Being the only guy in body, he had a certain punishment if he lost the games. And unfortunately, due to the fact that almost everyone thought the punishment was cute, especially Achiko. He had no choice to agree. They played the ball game and unfortunately Izuku lost. Achiko had a big grin on her face as he held up a really small inner tube. Izuku sighed as he turned to his animal form. He had to remain an animal for a while using the inner tube. "Come on, Deku. You know how adorable two are doing this," said Achiko. "I know, it's still kind of embarrassing," said Izuku, blushing. That was when both Kaminari and Mineta surfaced, breathing heavily. That was when they saw what Izuku was doing. "Wait, is that one of the reasons why you invited him?" asked Mineta. "Kind of," said Ashido. "I don't know if I should jealous of you anymore or not," said Kaminari. "Aren't you supposed to be training?" asked Jiro. "I mean, you guys are having fun," said Kaminari. "But you asked to use the pool for training, we asked to use the pool for recreation," said Yayorozu. Both boys sweated. "So you two really need to get back to training," said Tenya. Mineta and Kaminari nodded and went back to training, which was holding their breath at the moment. "I can't believe you came up with that for a training regimen," said Jiro to Yayorozu. "I figured it would be the best idea," said Yayorozu. "By the way, you two lovebirds, are you going to spend a day at iExpo alone?" teased Ashido. Izuku and Okoko blushed. "I mean, we're both going, it would be a fun date spot," said Izuku, blushing. "You're right," said Achiko, blushing as well. iExpo was an event held Ti Island, a place where all of the world's top scientists were to create many of the world's best inventions. Every summer they would open up and hold an event called iExpo. And all of them were going. Yayorozu invited all of the girls of the class, including Tenya and Shoto. However, they along with Katsuki turned her down because they were going representing their families in Shoto and Tenya's case, and Katsuki, who got her invitation for winning the sports festival. Katsuki was also taking Izuku as her +1. "You two are still awkward around each other?" asked Jiro. "You two have been bonded since school started." "But dating is completely different," cried Izuku. "Stop teasing the awkward dorks," muttered Katsuki. "But it better not be preview day you go on your date," said Ashido. "Nina, stop trying to spy on our dates," sighed Achiko. "You won't know if I will," said Ashido. "Do I have to act as security, because I will?" muttered Katsuki. Ashido pouted. "Still, it's going to be fun," said Toru. That was when suddenly Mineta bobbed up to the surface as if he had drowned. "Oh no!" yelled Tenya. However, Katsuki wanted to see something first, just in case. "Deku, you're the only one that knows CPR," yelled Katsuki. "What?" asked Izuku, confused. However, Katsuki's theory was proven true when Mineta suddenly popped up and yelled out, "I'm alive!" The girls all glared at Mineta. "I knew it!" yelled Katsuki. "I'm telling Aizawa what you just pulled," said Yayorozu. "What? No!" yelled Mineta. "It was a joke, I sweat." "Please don't." That was when Kaminari resurfaced. "At least you know better," said Shoto, glaring at Kaminari. "I have no idea what just happened," said Kaminari. "Good," said Jiro, glaring. "What did you do?" asked Kaminari. Thankfully, the punishment for Mineta wasn't that bad. He wasn't allowed to request pool time for the rest of the summer, partially because his plan didn't work. But still, summer vacation had started, with Izuku having a new partner as well. And he didn't know just how important that new partner would be during that summer, because something was going to go wrong soon, and it would be in a place they would least expect. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 35. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.